Hi everybody, I just wanted to walk through some of the information regarding the multimedia project just to cover all bases and kind of get out ahead of any questions or concerns that you might have, because I know that project is a lot of points compared to our discussion posts, but I think it's going to be a nice way to end the semester with something a little bit fun and a chance to be creative. So I'm going to walk through those guidelines with you. I want you to note that they are posted on D2L in the content area, so you can take a look there as well. So if you pull up the requirements, it's just kind of giving you some background. And I want you to note that this is really an open project. You can do anything that you would like to do in terms of the format. It just needs to be something that you can then post on D2L. So if you make a video, or if you create a puzzle, or if you create a Facebook account for a character, I mean, the sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want. All of that just needs to be something that you can post on D2L, whether it's in an uploaded file or document, or it's a link to YouTube for a video, or it's pictures that you take of a finished product. Over the years, people have been really creative with this project, which is the purpose, right? But they've done several different kinds of projects, from, a PowerPoint, which can, open up the doors for some creativity. Some people have written songs. People have even found ways to incorporate their love of baking. So a baked good that somehow represents a theme in a story or a character or anything like that. So as we walk through some of this information, just note that I will also be available for those online office hours if you have any questions. So don't get too overwhelmed by this. So I do have some examples, links to examples posted on the guidelines. And if you click on those, it will open up, one is a video. And so this is a really good kind of example of somebody being creative with the short story Araby, written by James Joyce. This is from a British literature class that I taught. So I'll just pull a quick part of it so you can kind of get a sense of the student's project.
So I'm walking down the street like I always do. Then I see this girl looking oh so cute. I'm like, but I don't know what to say. So I pass her up every day. Like maybe she'll notice and say hello. I don't know, but I'ma try my best. Oh no, oh yo yes. She finds out what's up, blah blah.
Okay, so just a quick clip to show you that this is not a perfect video, but it's fun, it's creative, it's interesting, and it's connected to the ideas that are in that short story about a young boy going to this carnival or bazaar that's called Araby. And that's his little brother in the video. It's not high tech or anything, so don't push yourself to have something that's incredible, that's perfect, right? If you want to explore some sort of genre like art, but you don't identify as an artist, or you're not a painter, or a crafter of any kind, this is a chance to just kind of explore it and see what you can do. But I do warn you, this is something that you can spend a lot of time on. So make sure that you're choosing something where the deadline you can keep in mind, and the time that's required for it is always on your mind as well. Typically when people do things like videos, it takes twice as long as people imagine, just because of the editing process. In order for it to be viewed on D2L, it does need to be uploaded in YouTube so that it's accessible, because a lot of times other kinds of files are just, D2L makes it kind of difficult. And we want to make sure that everybody can kind of share in your project, and sometimes different kinds of files uploaded to D2L are not viewable, so YouTube makes that kind of easy. But people have done PowerPoints, created Instagram accounts for characters with lots of different posts and information. I really urge you to just be as creative as you want to be, while still kind of making sure that the literature is on your mind. So if we go back to those multimedia requirements, there are, let's see, it does need to be focused. So I'm right here in the requirements, right? So I want you to think about something that we've read so far, or something that we haven't discussed yet, like the Hernandez brothers, or perhaps I'm Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter. explore anything that we've read or will read in the course and look at it from the perspective of maybe a single character, or maybe something that you see across a couple of different texts, like an issue related to gender or identity. We have a lot of texts that have talked about Mexican American, Chicano identity, right? So you can cover a number of texts, or you can stick with just one text. And it does need to be creative, and this is kind of a repeat of what I just kind of walked through. What you need to do in addition is to write 3 paragraphs, and that is to offer, an essay, part, and it is going to require a little bit of research, but only research with the books that we have from the semester. So the first paragraph is just an explanation of your project, because if you post a picture of a piece of artwork that you've done, people might have questions. So this is a paragraph that allows you to go into detail about what people are seeing, or if it's a song, what they're hearing, right? You're giving some context, right? So you're pushing kind of the question of why, is this something that you've chosen to do? What is the thing that you've done? The second paragraph, I warn you, is where a lot of times people in my classes have lost the points, because this is really pushing you to do that research and support your ideas with quotes and information from those texts that you've chosen to analyze, right? So I want you to make sure that you're citing those texts, right, and making clear connections, right? So if you created a piece of artwork, what are you pulling? What kind of quotes and information are you pulling from the authors to support what the audience sees as that painting, image, whatever it is you've created? And then the third paragraph is just kind of, why is this a relevant project? How overall do you see it connecting to the to the course? What is the relevance? Okay. I don't have a particular length in mind for any of these paragraphs, but typically the first and second paragraphs are lengthy. So I would say you're pushing for at least 5 to 7 sentences around there, if not more. And the third paragraph is just kind of tying everything together. You'll notice that the grade distribution is such, it's 100 points for the actual piece, whatever it is that you create, and then that short essay is going to be worth 50 points. Please do the paragraphs in Microsoft Word so that you can edit, you can make sure that everything, meets the kinds of standards that one would expect in an English-based course, and then just copy and paste that into the discussion post. So in the future, I'll post an area for just the multimedia projects, and you'll just post there like you would any of our weekly or paper topic posts. So it's just, we're not kind of going outside of those areas, right, to do anything left in the course. So I want to show you where I've placed this information. Okay, so if you go to our course page, right, in the content area, if you're in the overview section, right, that's where I'm just going to post a lot of our materials. And so the syllabus addendum, the rubric for those online discussion posts, and here are the multimedia project guidelines. And I'll post them probably in an announcement. I will likely post them in one of our weekly areas. A lot of times with the online courses, information can be found in several places, and that's not, again, meant to overwhelm you. It's just meant so that in a pinch you can find what it is you're looking for without being overwhelmed. Okay, so if you do have any questions related to the project, I definitely want you to let me know. Also in the guidelines is a link to a website that I curate. I haven't been on there in quite some time, but the link will take you to, some examples of other people's multimedia projects. So if you click, you can see a former student, Jocelyn. This is her artwork. This is a big poster board that she took a picture of, and this is an image that she created based on Beowulf, and this is the monster Grendel. So something, again, to be kind of creative and take a look at. Veronica, a former student, did some origami based on, again, Beowulf and the dragon. So she just took pictures of the different stages, right? And that's kind of what we want. We want to see how this develops. We don't just want to see that last image if it is something that you're creating on, or I'm sorry, if you're creating for the project. So she showed, how everything, this is really intricate. And this is the final picture of the dragon that's represented in Beowulf again. And then we have Miriam has a PowerPoint, and then Anthony's video, which we just watched. So you can take a look around and see what are some examples, but I don't want those to limit you. I want you to be as creative as you'd like to be and explore some kind of art. I mean, now might be a good time to find a new hobby or craft or a way to kind of get creative, since we're not able to do as much as we used to be able to do out in public and out and about. So again, if you have any questions, hit me up during my office hours. Those are 12 p.m. to 1:30 every day in the instant messages, or we can set up an appointment. All right, hope this provides you enough information, and I hope you're doing well.